Hi friends, it's Julia. Thanks for stopping by my channel for Christmas in July Day 14. Every day of the month of July, I've been posting a video, whether it be of the entire kit that I created or the mini kits that I created to create these cards with. I created 6 mini kits, and so as the month goes by, you'll see me creating cards with each of those mini kits. This is actually from mini kit number 2. I'm still working through that one. I created tons more than I thought I would with the first mini kit. So I'm really curious as I go through my process about how many cards that I've made with each one, looking at the supplies that I have. I won't spoil it for you and tell you. I'll let you keep up day by day, but I totally was amazed at how many I made for the month without truly intending to. So, question of the day is, do you send out Christmas cards every year at Christmas time? And what's your process? Do you have them all ready to go and mail out on June 1st, or sorry, on December 1st, or do you wait till you get a Christmas card from someone in the mail and then just drop them one? I'm curious about everybody's process of sending Christmas cards. So here I am, I'm cutting down some cardstock. I stamped those little cut apart pieces with just some random close to my heart stamps that I have. Those were from the paper pad, the cut aparts, and the wider one was a little bit wider sentiment, and then the shorter one, the more narrow one, I used a more narrow sentiment. Now this has ski lift chairs on it. It wasn't my favorite paper. Um, It's not my favorite paper, but I wanted to get it used. And so in order to use it, I thought, well, it can give some color and design in the background without being too prevalent. So I chose a different piece of paper um, to go across the center of that card. And so here I am, I'm just looking through to see what I have left over as far as scraps, or if I need to choose another whole 6x6 sheet of paper and create center strips to go across the middle of those cards. And I have this paper with the triangles on it that I'm cutting down to go across the center. And I liked it, but I don't know, something just it almost feels like it has a cream undertone to it. It doesn't, but when I look at it here and when I looked at it next to the ski lift papers, it did. And so I just flipped it over. The reverse side had snowflakes on them, and so I just flipped it over and I'm using that side. And so I'm going through my scraps and deciding that I need to mat that sentiment as well, since I've matted the 2 pattern papers. And so I'm just going through here with some scraps of my cardstock and matting those labels. So back to my question, what inspires you to send out Christmas cards? Like I said, is it just something that you normally do, or is it something that you wait till you get a card from someone before you send out a card to them? And I'll tell you a little story. When I was a kid, my grandma and my grandpa, they had a business, and every year at the first part of December, we would sit down. She would have me sit down with her and label out. I say label out. She already had pre-made labels on label stickers, and so you just basically had to put them on the envelope. And so we would sit down, and sometimes it would take a week to get them all done because she would mail out hundreds of cards every year. And it was just always nice in my head. I thought, how nice is it to send out Christmas cards um, just to let folks know that you're thinking about them during that time. Because I know that sometimes Christmas time is pretty hectic and we don't always think to reach out to other people who might not have such close-knit family, or, or any family or friends at all. So that's what inspires me, just to reach out and let my family and friends know that I'm thinking about them, even if I don't talk to them every day, or even if I don't talk to them at all during the year. They get a Christmas card from me to let them know that I'm thinking of them. And I do it every year at Christmas time just because. So here I am with my cards. Back to this process video. I'm gluing down my papers now. You can see I have uh, set out everything the way that I want it, as far as my pattern papers and my little sentiment that I stamped out to go on the front. I've also cut out a piece of glitter tape. It is one of the close to my heart um, glitter tapes, and it has a backing strip on it. And so it takes me a minute or so to get that peeled apart. But once I do, I'm able to get it stuck down fairly easily. And this is not a tape that wraps around easily. It's kind of bulky, and so rather than wrap it around and stick it to the back of the cardstock, I just cut it off, only to make it adhere more nicely and not have that puckered up paper or the puckered up ribbon or sticker at the end of it. So the ski chalet, or not ski chalet, the ski lift paper is probably, other than the orange polka dot that was on the back of the one sheet, this has probably been one of my least favorite papers in the collection. As well as that, the triangle one that you see it laying over there. I was going to use that, and then I used the alternate side with the snowflakes on it. That for some reason, because it has almost a tan line going through it, it makes it feel like it has a cream base to it. And it really doesn't. It's a stark white paper, but then it has those cream colored lines on it, and it just didn't do anything for me. And so I pretty much didn't use it. I think I used it a little bit on a couple of cards, but that was it. So there I'm getting everything glued down. Then I'm using my awl tool to poke some holes so that I can put some brads on these. I went through my little cups that I have up at the top and pulled out some brads that would go with these cards. I'm so thankful that I've got the brads still to use. That's one of those things that I collected so many brads, and I haven't bought any in years and years. With the exception, I take that back, recently I bought a set at a scrapbook convention that I went to in June. But other than that, I really haven't bought any brads, and I still have tons. But I like them. I like using them. They're one of my favorite embellishments. But like anything else, when you're collecting, you tend to collect tons and tons of them, and then it takes a long time to use up. And I think it was the brads that inspired me not to collect a lot of other things along the way, just to buy sparingly of other embellishments that have come along, only because it took me a little bit to realize brads are one of those things, little metal embellishments. They come and go in the scrapbooking industry. They come in and out of fashion the same way that buttons do, or sewing on your page, or using mixed media. Those are all techniques that, they're hot and heavy one minute and the next minute they move on. I'm not a messy person, so I don't get into those techniques and buy all the stuff. I tried to be when it all first came out, and I did buy a few things, but then I realized, yeah, that's not so much for me. So I didn't invest a lot of money into collecting all the different mixed media stuff. But I still have brads because I spent money on those. Do you guys have brads or something in your collection that you thought you had to have every single color and every single style of brad, or embellishment in that collection, or that brand, if you will, of embellishment, um, and it's still in your stash for however long? That's kind of how brads are. They've been in my stash for over 20 years, And I just keep plugging along at them. You know, I don't think I'm ever going to run out. I think I'll die before I ever run out of brads. That's how many I have. Anyway, I'm finishing up with these cards. I'm taking those K & Company border strips there that have glitter on, like acetate backing. They have glitter sentiments, or like there's some snowflakes and etc. These have the Merry Christmas sentiment on them, and then I stamped a sentiment on the inside. And now I'm just going to adhere my card front down to the card base, and those cards will be done. This has been, even though this has taken me a month to get them done, in reality it's taken me probably about 6 to 8 weeks to get them all done and get the recordings and everything taken care of. But I have really enjoyed doing this process to be a month-long process, because whenever I've had a few minutes and wanted to get a little bit crafty or creative, I can come in and pop a couple of cards together, and boom, I've got my crafty fix on for the day. So anyway, I hope this video inspires you to get into your stash and to get some things out and to get them used up, or attempt to use a portion of them, i.e. my brads. And what's your thing? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will talk to you guys on the next video. See you later. Bye-bye.